Hello, my name's Emily Martin. This is my literacy narrative. It's about the first time that I decided to read a chapter book on my own, and it's called The First Chapters. Very original, right? Hope y'all like it. I'd like to think that I'm an avid reader, reading whatever was in front of me for whatever reason. Doesn't matter if it was a novel, a biography, the history of America, a road sign, or a restaurant menu. Nowadays, I don't get as much time anymore. Life kind of does that to you. But when I was a kid, you could bet money that my head was in a book instead of looking out the window during a long car ride. Most kids, especially teeny little elementary kids, typically they don't like reading. But I loved it. And it all started with a simple class bookshelf sitting in the back of the room. I learned to read fairly quick. I was always able to read the bigger words better than the smaller ones, once I knew how to pronounce them right. At home, it was a tradition to read to my dad a Dr. Seuss book every night to help with my pronunciation and my speed. This gave me a bit of a boost ahead of my classmates at the time. However, I always refused to read a chapter book myself, always wanting help or it being read to me. And this stayed that way until my first grade teacher, Mrs. Spurgeon, read a very special book to the class during a reading circle. Now, to everyone else on the planet, it probably seems like an ordinary book. And it is. Also. But to me, it was special because it kickstarted a great thing. My love for reading. Or rather, it led to it because the real special book was on the same tiny bookshelf that the actual reading was coming from. I don't remember the name of the book she was reading, but I sure do remember the one that opened the proverbial floodgates for me. It was the pilot book of the Magic Treehouse series, a book called Dinosaurs Before Dark. Thinking back now, I'm a little surprised the book was even there. I mean, considering that my school at the time was a private Christian school in Greenville, South Carolina, which is the middle of the Bible Belt. And the book was a fictional story involving dinosaurs and subsequently the meteor that killed nearly all life present at the time. You know, conflicting concepts of how humans came to be and whatnot. Either way, I was 6. So the only thing I cared about was a colorful looking book and a cure for boredom. I'll admit I was afraid to start. It was the first chapter book I'd ever read by myself, and it was new. At that age, no kid likes new unless it's a toy or a pet. After getting some parental encouragement and a brief mental pep talk, I picked up the book and never set it down. The Magic Treehouse series quickly wrote me in, starting at book number 1. Reading a whole 20 chapters at that age within about 10 days was definitely a new personal best. And the book also gave me a new book set to read. I found as many Magic Treehouse books as I could, whether it be from the library or the nearest bookstore, and I read book after book. In class, on the way home, after homework, during dinner, before bed, I could always be seen with a Magic Treehouse book. It was the first series I'd ever branched out to as a kid, and the first time I had ever done so on my own. It was so much different than the other books I'd read, and being a chapter book, and it still had pictures, which was a big selling point for me at the time. And it most definitely wasn't the Bible stories I was read to in class about Jesus turning water into wine or David and Goliath. The Magic Treehouse series gave reading a different meaning to me. And it opened up a whole new world of stories I could get lost in. And I'm forever grateful for picking up that one little book, forcing me to get out of my own comfort zone. I'll never forget the little book that helped me expand my horizons and showed me the possibilities of reading, as well as my discovery of learning about the amazing worlds authors create every day. Reading showed me what imagination can do, and all it takes is a thought. Thank you.